This is the Grizzlies Soccer pregame show with head soccer coach Bobby Brubiesco. To you through the support of the Goal for Goal soccer camps, the most complete youth soccer camps in Wichita. Check them out at www.goalforgoal.com. And now, here's the coach.
And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our pregame interview with head coach Bobby Brubiesco down here at Derby High tonight on what is projected to be a very cold evening here for your teams to play. And before we look forward to Derby and beyond, let's look back for just a minute at two recent games, starting with the final game of the Titan against Dodge City.
Well, we came out of that tournament with 2 wins, 1 defeat against Mays. But so for us, it was a good result. Of course, our goal was to try to get in that championship game, but 2 out of 1 is good for us. And then Dodge, to me, was a very scrappy team who's going to get better, by the way. And we just caught them on a bad night, and we ended up scoring in bunches there. I believe it was 4 goals. And then South coming to Northwest, and that was a very important game for us because it was a City League team. And we played well in that game, and we caught South in a bad night because they're a better team than what showed up. But so, yeah, we're 3-1. I'm pleased.
Well, and especially in the South game, which, by the way, was a 6-0 final, so you got a shutout. You scored early, and you kind of set the tone in the game early because really I thought the girls dominated South the entire time.
Yes, and I think what I like about the South game, we had, I believe, four different players scored. I think Emily had a hat trick, but April scored. I believe Elena scored, maybe Britton scored, but there was 4 different players, and I like that. So everybody's getting into scoring, not just Emily.
You can't rely on one person all year because if, heaven forbid, something should happen to Emily from an injury standpoint, the rest of the team's going to have to step up.
Yeah, we don't want to ever lose Emily because she is, let's be honest about it, she's our best attacking player, and I'm sure she's going to be keyed up every time we play somebody. I think she's going to have numbers around her, but it's good to see that the other players are stepping up, and they're younger players that are doing this, so that speaks well for the attacking part of our game.
You've got 4 games under your belt. You're 3-1 so far in the young season. How's the team chemistry at this point?
It's better than day one, put it that way. I think that Mays game woke us up, and ever since that Mays game, we're just playing well. I think we're attacking well with numbers now. We're against Mays, we have always 1 versus their 2, 4 players. So for that part of our program, the attacking is getting better. And then, my backs, 2 shutouts against the last 2 games, Dodge and South, speaks well for Nia Baker, he's doing well now. And then my 4 backs in the back, we're good.
Well, and your back line has just prevented shots from getting to Nia for the most part.
Yes, Lauren Vestring is only a freshman. Is my center back, but she's playing like an upperclassman. And then I call her Big Al, and another center back. She's doing very well. Those 2 complement each other. And then on the right side, I got Maris Quillen, and she's getting into the attack, by the way, and doing very well on the right flank. And then on the left flank is Britton Murray. And she's there because of her speed, and she's got a nice left foot. She can cross the ball in the attack. So, yeah, our backs are very good. But also we're getting help from Carly Von Bush, who's our center holding mid, and I think those 5 players have been playing very good for us.
And they've been playing so well together, both offensively and defensively, and it shows in the results of the last 2 games.
Yeah, the mindset, to get players in the right mindset is that when we defend, I expect 11 people to defend, and I always keep preaching about it, getting 8 or 9 players behind the ball. That seems to be working. And then when we have the ball, we got to get everybody to think we're offense now, forget about marking, get in the attack, support each other. In the last 2 games, we've done that.
Well, they always say that 95% of the goals scored against you are not the fault of the goalkeeper, but of the 10 players in front of her.
Yes, because before the ball gets to the goalkeeper, it went through 10 other players. And, I've always told the girls I don't mind losing the game as long as the team that beat us was better than we were. And I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen a team that I really say was better than us. Even that Mays game, They played well. They outplayed us, but I'm not sure they were better than us. I know that Jay Holmes had him prepared better than I did, and I got Northwest prepared. So yeah.
Well, and in the first game of the year, anything can happen because both teams it's the first game of the year for both teams, and you just don't know what's going to happen on the field because you don't have any experience with those players to fall back on. So, it's understandable, and quite frankly, it's a good way for you to learn what needs to be done and for the ladies to learn what needs to be done going forward.
Well, playing 4 games now, every game is a lesson. I think we've learned from the 4 previous games. What we got to do now is put everything together and go forward. And because right now we're playing to be a contender in the City League.
And City League is what it's all about. After today's non-league game against Derby, you go right back into City League with Heights and Capon later on this week. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be back with head coach Bobby Brubieska right after this, so stay with us.
This portion of today's webcast is brought to you in part by Dugan and Garreau, attorneys at law, 940 North Tyler Road, Wichita. By Gecko Painting, Incorporated. Danny and Grizzly alum Stacy Higgins, now of Olathe, Kansas, are proud supporters of Grizzly Nation and webcasts on the Internet. And by Regional Contractors, 1313 North Webb Road. We thank all of our sponsors for their proud support of Grizzly Soccer.
Back with head coach Bobby Brubieska on the pregame show. And, Coach, we have a non-league contest against Derby tonight. But after tonight, you get into the fire with City League play. You've got a stretch of 4 games in the next 8 days, 2 of which are City League contests. And you're going to be busy.
Very busy. I don't like to play 3 games in 1 week. I think it's hard, very difficult on the players. But it's also going to be a big test to see if we can get over the hump with 3 games next week. I think my bench is playing well now, so I'm really not worried about that. I'm just hoping that we can stay healthy during those 3 games because Derby is a very good matchup. I believe they're 2-2, but what worries me about Derby is they're capable of scoring. They're big and they're strong, and they beat South early in the season, and they had a nice win over East in the South tournament. So it's a team that I think we can learn a lot from playing a Derby team who's a very good team.
And I think Derby does have a bit of advantages. Playing at home, they play on turf, and they played on turf in the Titan as well, and you of course, did not. So you've been on grass the whole time. There's going to be a bit of adjustment for the girls.
Well, we had 1 game, the North game. No, the Dodge City game was on turf. But
that's right. I should know that. I was there.
But the scary part is that when we go to Derby, it's always a very difficult match. They seem to have our number when we go to Derby. But I think I've got good notes on Derby, so they're not going to throw any surprises to us. And I think it should be a very competitive game.
So right after the game tonight against Derby, we go home. We've got a 3-game homestand coming up, and we get right back into City League play tomorrow night against the Heights Falcons.
The Heights Falcons are a very good team. They're good right now. They won that the red bracket in the South High tournament. I think it was 4-2 over Hutchinson. But Coach Frigel is doing a very good job, and he's got some players that I think are stepping up for him at the right time. So that game on Tuesday is another important City League game. But I like playing at home now. I think we do better at home, and so I look forward to playing Heights.
And then 2 days later, on Thursday, another home game against Capon Mount Carmel.
Capon is always a good team. I don't care if they're what part of the year you're playing. They're going to give you all you want. And Coach Cantelli down there does a very good job with the girls. And he's got some good athletes that are coming back. That's another team that's a big team. They're a strong team. And their team chemistry is so good right now, so early in the year. So he's done a good job over there.
They've got so many returning players who stood out for them last year in last year's run that they're just going to pretty much pick up where they left off unless we stop them.
Yeah, you can't let Capon score early because it just pumps them up. Because once they get a lead, they can defend a lead. and that's what makes them good. They can score, and then they can defend that one-goal lead, and that's probably why they're winning so many games right now.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in both of those, and then we're not going to have another visit until the 20th, which will be when we go to Trinity. We'll be webcasting that game. So we have several more games between now and then. We don't want to go too far ahead, but I know that you in particular are looking forward to a game next Monday night against Mays High at home.
Yes, I like to play Mays many times because Mays, they seem to set the standard to play for our central Kansas area. Yeah, I like playing Mays. I don't like losing to Mays, but I like playing the Mays because there's always a lesson to learn there. But we're going to take one game at a time before we get to Mays, and we're going to start Monday with Derby and then Tuesday Heights and then Capon on Thursday.
Got a busy week ahead. We wish you the best of luck. Hope all the girls stay healthy, and let's start it out tonight. Go out and get a W here at Derby.
Thank you, Mr. Arkin. I'll always look forward to talking to you, so thank you very much.
Okay, it's going to be a while. It's going to be the 20th before we have another sit-down like this, so we're going to have a lot to talk about by then.
We're going to have many stories. I just want to encourage our fans out there to come out and watch the girls because it's fun to watch girls soccer.
They are a fun group to watch. I could not agree more. So, yes, but this long homestand, come on out and support your Grizzlies.
Thank you.
Head coach Bobby Brubieska will be back here with the starting lineups and the play-by-play of tonight's game. Caleb Blaine will join us as well right after this brief timeout. Stay with us. This is Wichita Northwest Grizzlies girls soccer.
This portion of today's webcast is brought to you in part by Dugan and Garreau, attorneys of law, 940 North Tyler Road, Wichita. By Gecko Painting, Incorporated. Danny and Grizzly alum Stacy Higgins, now of Olathe, Kansas, are proud supporters of Grizzly Nation and webcasts on the Internet. And by Regional Contractors, 1313 North Webb Road. We thank all of our sponsors for their proud support of Grizzly Soccer. Wichita Northwest Grizzly Soccer is on the air. Welcome, Grizzly Nation, to another webcast of your Wichita Northwest Grizzlies as they march their way to another 6A state title. Today's webcast is made possible through the support of the many sponsors of the annual Eric Profit No. 19 Memorial Soccer Tournament, including Mel Hamilton Ford. We're better, we're proving it, you be the judge. And by Emerson Biggins, 808 East Douglas. Come visit Emerson Biggins and enjoy the hospitality of Luis Lopez and his staff today. Glenn and Camille Nyberg, proud sponsors of Grizzly Soccer. Wichita Tractor, home of Bad Boy Mowers, 1750 Southwest Street. Mow with an attitude. And the many other sponsors who made these webcasts possible. And now, to the field. And your host, Kevin Arkin.
And we thank you, Todd Taylor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Derby, Kansas. We are at Derby High School for a non-league contest between the Panthers of Derby High and your Wichita Northwest Grizzlies. My name is Kevin Arkin. Caleb Blaine has taken the night off in order to handle some school-related activities, as well he should. So it looks like it's just going to be me up here tonight, which may or may not bode well for all of you because I'll have to run the camera and the whole shebang myself. But we'll see how it goes as the night goes on. We're about 5 minutes away from the introduction of the starting lineups. It's turned out to be a pretty decent day here in Wichita. There is bright sunshine at the moment. It is actually supposed to rain this evening, but I think we're going to beat the raindrops and get this one in. This game, originally scheduled for this past Friday, was snowed out with a prediction of snow and icy conditions, at game time, and that's exactly what we ended up having. So they called the game very early in the day and rescheduled it for this evening, and it's a good thing they didn't do it yesterday. Yesterday we had snow in Wichita. Some areas of Wichita got close to 2 inches of snow overnight, and yesterday morning it sleeted during the day yesterday, and then it finally warmed up enough to get rid of most of the moisture yesterday. Today was a cold day as well. We had drizzle this morning for a while, but the temperature stayed above freezing, and it turned out to be a relatively decent day. It's 54 degrees right now. The wind is blowing out of the north. It's blowing left to right as you're looking at the field, and it's blowing at about 20 miles an hour. So there is a stiff northerly breeze, and everybody who's braved the elements to come out to this one here tonight at Derby is bundled up in parkas, blankets, or more. It is going to be a very cold night if you're a spectator, and the spectators are already all in the shade, so there's no sunshine to help them out, and they have to deal with that north wind, which is getting the wind chill down into the upper 30s. Going to take a quick time out, and then we'll be back with the starting lineups for both teams and the play-by-play of this one. So stay with us. Glad to have you on board. This is Wichita Northwest Grizzlies Girls Soccer.
This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life.
Back at Derby High, glad to have you with us. We'll tell you that the Grizzlies come into tonight's game with a record of 3-1. They have won 3 in a row after dropping the season opener to Mays High. Derby comes in tonight 2-2 on the season. They won 2 of their 3 in the Titan Classic, as did us, and have gone 1-1 since. So 2-2 versus 1-3. The Grizzlies have been playing very well. Their last 2 games have both been shutouts, and in fact, Nia Baker in the last 2 games has a grand total of 1 save, and they're both shutouts. So that tells you how dominant our defense and especially our back line has been over the last 2 games against Dodge City and South High, respectively. Hoping for more of that tonight. This is a very potent offensive team, this Derby Panther squad, so it's going to be a tall order here tonight to keep the score down on the defensive side of the ball. Players are getting ready to take the field, and we're going to turn it over to PA announcer Matt Van Boning, who will introduce the players and lead us through the national anthem here. We're going to give him the honor, and the players, as you can see, are making their way to the field, so we're going to switch it over right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Panther Stadium in Derby, Kansas for tonight's varsity soccer match between the Wichita Northwest Grizzlies and your Derby High School Panthers. At this time, would you please rise and remove your hats and help show respect for our country and the men and women serving both here and around the world as we play our national anthem. And now for the starting lineups for tonight's match. First, for our visitors from Wichita Northwest. In goal, a junior, number 1, Nia Baker. At defense, a sophomore, number 3, Olivia Crawford. In the midfield, a senior, number 8, April Lucio. At defender, a freshman, number 9, Lauren Vestring. At forward, a sophomore, number 11, Elena Avalar. Also at forward, a senior, number 12, Emily Jensen. A defender, a senior, number 13, Carly Volm Bush. At forward, a sophomore, number 16, Reese Visger. In the midfield, a junior, number 18, Britton Murray. In the defense, a sophomore, number 21, Maris Quillen. And finally, a forward, a junior, number 22, Darling Simon. And now the starting lineup for your Lady Panthers. In goal, a senior, number 0, Lexi Winkle. In the defense, a sophomore, number 2, Heather Mills. Also in the defense, a senior, number 3, Adriana Gutierrez. In the defense, a sophomore, number 4, Kendall Meyer. In the midfield, a sophomore, number 5, Sydney Nillis. In the midfield, a sophomore, number 15, Jordan Crow. Also in the midfield, a junior, number 17, Mara Frankie. At forward, a freshman, number 23, Brianna Moore. In the defense, a senior, number 25, Riley Mahoney. In the midfield, a senior, number 26, Madeline Leap. And in the defense, a freshman, number 32, Reagan Steiger. The Lady Grizzlies are coached by Bobby Brubieska with help from Roger Powell and Christina Commons. The Lady Panthers are coached by Paul Burke.
There's the introduction of the starting lineups, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with the play-by-play of tonight's game after this 30-second timeout. This is Wichita Northwest Grizzlies girls soccer.
Who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
And we are ready to kick off here very shortly. The ball has been placed. Grizzlies are in their road blue uniforms tonight. They'll be playing from right to left into the 20-mile-an-hour wind here in the first half. Derby will kick off wearing their home whites with black numerals and black trim. Glad to have you on board. Well, pardon me. Glad to have you on board wherever you are on planet Earth. And you can tell once again that it is the heart of allergy season, and the wind is not doing me any favors here tonight. Okay, it's a one-man show up here in the booth tonight. I'll do everything I can to keep my camera on the ball, my eye on the program, and on the timer as well. Just waiting for the opening kick here. Referees are signaling each other that they're ready to go. Scorekeeper, clock operator is ready to go. Matt Van Boning. And we're off. Derby brings the ball out. We got the rosters, folks, just before game time, so I have not had a chance to visit with the names and numbers of this. We welcome anybody from Derby who's watching tonight. Glad to have you on board. And I apologize if we can't properly identify your ladies a little more clearly going forward. Grizzlies fighting to keep the ball in the offensive end. Now Derby recovers it. And a long pass down the near side here. And racing for it is Lauren Vestring. And she's got the wheels on, but Nia Baker's there anyway. And she corrals it for a goalkeeper distribution. Out to center it comes. We'll reset the lineup here for you for your Grizzlies. No surprises tonight, at least not yet. Emily Jensen with it now, with four girls in front of her. She sends one wide to Darling Simon, but it goes too far and rolls out of play. It'll be a throw-in for Derby. Nia Baker in goal, coming off 2 consecutive shutouts. Wanting to keep that streak alive as long as humanly possible. Bear with me while we make a minor camera adjustment. There we go. And here's one into the penalty area. Chance, but it goes off the side of the net. And it will be a goal kick for Derby. Nice try that time by Reese. That doesn't look like Reese Visker to me, but that is her number. Vestring sends one forward now, but nothing there but white. And back it comes to the center of the field. And a nice play over there by Maris Quillen to get the ball back for the Grizzlies. Elena Avalar fighting for it. Back out to center it comes. And a ball nicely intercepted by Britt Murray. And here come the Grizzlies. A through ball that was intended for Elena Avalar, but it went too far and went all the way back to goalkeeper Lexi Winkle, who distributes it. Emily Jensen with it. Pokes one forward. Now Derby gets it back and sends it towards center. And here come the Panthers now. Ball nicely intercepted again by Quillen. Up on the far side, there's Lucio with it. To Simon. And now up to Emily Jensen, bringing it up the far sideline. She centers one intended for Avalar. Elena's there, kicks it back. And we have an offside call. Emily got caught up there offside, and it will be a free kick for Derby. Just underway here. We're about 4 minutes in, 3.5 minutes in. No score. Derby and Northwest. Northwest has won 3 in a row, looking to make it 4 here tonight. The first of 4 games in 8 days for this squad. They're picking a good time to play well. Britt Murray intercepts the pass, and so does Quillen, but Derby still gets it back. This one goes all the way back, and Nia Baker, she touched it out of bounds. That'll probably be, it will be a, what are they going to call here? Not exactly sure what they're calling. They're going to say it's a goal kick, I believe. It is indeed a goal kick. They ruled that Nia did not touch it. Quite honestly, I thought she had as well. Nice crowd on hand on a very cool evening here in Derby. Out to center it comes. And Reese Fisker gives chase over there. Out of bounds it goes. It will belong to Northwest. Britt Murray will handle the throw-in chores here, right below us. And it comes over Avalar. And now the Panthers send one forward. And they got somebody through everything, and she took a shot that went wide. It will be a goal kick for the Grizzlies, and the Grizzlies did manage to escape with their lives on that one. Looks like Crawford's going to take the kick. She does. Sends it out to the center. Fighting for it is Avalar. She sends one forward. Nobody there. And Derby corrals it and sends it back. Here's a chance now for the Panthers. They send it back, and there's a long one. That'll go over into the next county. And it will be a goal kick for Northwest. Grizzlies lost 4-1 to Mays in the season opener. In the Titan Classic, 2 days later, they beat East High in penalty kicks and then wrapped up the Titan with a 4-0 victory over the Dodge City Red Demons in a game in which they totally dominated. In their home opener, the following Tuesday, they had South High in for a visit, and they took South High 6-0. On what was another cold night. Still waiting for spring to arrive here in Kansas. It has not done so yet. There's a long one, and it's going to be a foot race. Here's a chance for Derby, and Nia Baker gets there. There's another one, and that's rejected by Vestring. Nia Baker up to the task. Vestring finished it off. There'll be a throw in here for Derby right below us. In it comes, and Baumbush sends one forward. We'll set this lineup for you here when we get the opportunity to do so. Jensen to Avalar now up on the near side. Elena looking for help. Sends one across. That was intended for Simon. Couldn't get it to her. Britt Murray loses one, and here comes Derby back with it now. Britt gets back, though, and makes a nice defensive play on the ball. Goes out of play. It will belong to Derby. Murray gets a header on it. It stays in. Don't know how it did, but it did. Now it goes out, and it belongs to Northwest. Derby with it, bringing it forward. The very dangerous Brianna Moore, number 23, just took a foot on the ball. And there's a shot that's going to go wide and be a goal kick for the Grizzlies. I said dangerous. Brianna Moore is the leading scorer in the Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League Division I. She has 11 goals already on the season to go with an assist. So we're certainly going to have to keep an eye on her. Big kick out towards the middle of the field. It's intercepted by Derby. Lucio gets a foot on it, however. And it goes out of play on the far side, belonging to the Panthers. And Caleb Blaine, if you're watching, while you're doing what you need to do, I want you to know I miss you. We'll have him back for our next webcast, which isn't for 2 weeks. We've got a very weird schedule this year. Our next webcast will be on the 20th at Trinity, Wichita Trinity, that is. This one going deep into the corner and out of our line of sight. I have to see what I can do about that. That one gets back to Nia. She'll have a goalkeeper distribution here. 10 minutes gone in the first half. No score. And there's one for more, but Nia comes out and punches it away. I can see why that lady is dangerous. She is everywhere the ball is. Big throw in, gets headed back out and rejected by Britt. Now, Lena Avalar fighting for it. Jensen almost got a piece of it. Derby still with it. Working the ball now on the far side of the field. You can see the shadows beginning to encroach on the field as the sun goes down. This one is going to be, it's ruled offside. And it'll be a free kick for Northwest. Olivia Crawford will take this one on the far side at the 10-yard line. These are football markings. This is a multi-purpose field here in Derby. Artificial service used for both soccer and for football. Very nice facility. Beautiful press box they have up here. And we want to extend our thanks to Russ Baldwin, the athletic director here at Derby, who is planning to be our halftime guest. They've got some goal scorers on this team. Of course, we knew that. 26, who just tapped the ball and led Moore offside. That's Madeline Leaps. She's the number 5 scorer in Division I, our AVCTL. She has 4 goals and 3 assists in her 4 games. And, of course, if you're following Northwest, you know that it has been the Jensen-Lucio show all year with some help from their friends. But those two have really connected in the early going here in the season. Speaking of which, Lucio sends one out. It's intercepted there by Derby. Here come the Panthers back. And that one goes out of play. It will belong to the Grizzlies on a throw-in. Unable to reach it in time was Adriana Gutierrez. Britt Murray will do the honors, and in it comes. Reese Visker unable to control it. Valmbush giving chase. And finally, Olivia Crawford gets it for the Grizzlies, and Britt Murray will take charge now. She wins it and sends it forward. Goes out of play. It will belong to the Derby Panthers. Bestring kicks one out of play. They'll do it all over again. Nia Baker's in goal. Your back line consists of Britt Murray, Lauren Vestring, Olivia Crawford, and on the far side, Maris Quillen. They have been a wall so far this year, especially in the last 2 games. Your midfield crew includes, and is not limited to, as ball goes forward, Emily Jensen giving chase. Reese Fisker for one. Emily looking for Reese, and she finds her deep gets into the penalty area, but it's cleared out of play. Very nicely that time, I might add, by Riley Mahoney of the Panthers. And it goes over the goal line. It will be a corner kick. I don't know if we can get this in there, by George. You can see the corner kick being taken by Reese Fisker on this side with her big left foot. And out to the middle it goes. And here's a chance, and over the top of everything is Maris Quillen, who launched one into the clouds. And it will be a goal kick for the Derby Panthers. No score, 14 minutes gone in the first half. The JV team had a tough time of it here this afternoon. They played just before this one, and they dropped the decision 5-0 to the Panthers. Out to center, and Vestring sends it forward. Try to give and go with Visker and Avalar, and that just didn't work. Vestring taps it out of play. It'll be a throw in for the Panthers. Back out to center, Baumbush and Quillen working it. And now Derby gets it back. And there's a shot off the top of the referee. Play continues. Avalar sends one forward for Jensen. She's got it. Now can she get the wheels going? One man to beat. Emily centers one, and it's cleared back out by Derby. That was intended for Avalar, but Derby did a nice job of intercepting that pass. And with the ball is Leapst. She sends one far and wide. It goes out of play. It will belong to the Panthers, I believe. Yes, it will. Panthers will handle the throw in. Lands right at the foot of Lauren Vestring, who sends it back out to center to a waiting Emily Jensen. Quillen to Jensen again. And Lucio taps one out of play. It will belong to Derby. We're almost 20 minutes in. No subs yet. Everybody going with the starters. And if you look at the Grizzly bench over there, as we pan by, you can see that all of our players are huddled up in blankets. It's a cold night, and they're still in the sun. Spring is arriving late here in Wichita. Trees are all budding out. Some of the flowers are in bloom. Gutierrez sends one forward, intercepted by Britt. She sends one back, and they'll send it back and do it all over again. There's one in the neighborhood of Vestring. Britt Murray coming in there to help, and then finally Lauren sends it out of play, and it'll be a throw in for Derby here. Baumbush to Lucio. Darling Simon on the far side. Lucio sends one to Avalar, too far, and one there by Derby. They send it back, and here come the Panthers again. And here we go. The big duo on that far side. Again, number 23 is Brianna Moore, leading scorer in the league, albeit not our league, but still the leading scorer. And now crossing pass, center. Vestring lost sight of the ball. Here's going to be a shot. No, Vestring blocks it. That could have been dangerous. Crawford clears one forward to Lucio. Wide to Simon. And up to Jensen. Here comes Emily with it. She sends one to Elena Avalar on the far side. She's going to need some help. Couple of players streaking toward her. Pass is blocked. She gets it back. Lucio has it now. April with it. Sends it on the near side to Reese Visker. Back to Lucio it comes from Baumbush. Tried to lead a pass there for Avalar. That failed to click. Now Lucio with it again. Back to Baumbush. Back to April. April gets around one player. Now checked off the ball, and it goes wide to Darling Simon. Maris Quillen to April, to Simon. She chips one over everybody. Elena Avalar trying to give chase. It gets kicked out of play, but it's tapped off of Avalar, and it will be a throw-in for Derby. One of the things that I lost with Caleb not being here tonight is my binoculars and my eyes, because he is my eyes, and the Grizzlies just did substitute a player. Darling Simon went out, and I cannot tell you who came in because I can't see that far.
Entering the pitch for the Panthers, number 36, Alyssa Rowland.
Watch this. Who came in for Northwest? Okay. There's one going over the goal. I was communicating there with the PA announcer, Matt Von Boning, who's next to me. He's in the next booth. He's got binoculars. This man is prepared over here. We, on the other hand, are not. No score. Derby and Northwest. Hope you're enjoying it. It's a pretty good game so far. A lot of action. Whoops. Maddie Harkins is the sub for the Grizzlies, who just came in. And I should have recognized her hairstyle. This one goes out of play. It will belong to the Grizzlies. Be taken from right in front of their huddled masses over there on the bench. Britt has it at the 50. Looking for Reese. Reese has got it. One player to beat. Gets around her. The ball is still in play, barely. Derby gets it back. Here's Gutierrez with it. Oh, nice play there to get around two defenders. And finally the ball is intercepted, and very nicely, I might add, by Olivia Crawford. Reese leads Britt. Bestring sends it back up to Britt. And now we're playing a little pinball wizard here. Valmbush at center. Avalar in the circle. Sends one wide. It's going to be intercepted. And there's a lead pass for Moore, but Baker comes out and cuts it off. And Nia will have a goalkeeper distribution. 18 to go, first half, no score. Derby and Northwest. Harkins over there with it now. Maddie sends it back to Avalar. Goes deep and out of play. It will belong to the Panthers. Another lead pass for Moore. And she's getting by everybody so far, but she's too far away too far to the right to have a good chance unless she moves it back. There's one that's going to go all the way through and end up a goal kick for the Grizzlies. Grizzly Soccer on the Internet is brought to you in part by our lead sponsor, Mel Hambledon Ford. We're better, we're proving it. You be the judge. Mel Hambledon Ford, 11771 West Kellogg. We thank Mel Hambledon Ford for their support of Grizzly Soccer on the World Wide Web. Crawford will take this one and sends it out in the direction of Emily Jensen. Panthers win it back. And after a few headers, now Lauren gets a foot on it. April taps it forward. Avalar can't control it. It goes back to Derby. Here's Moore giving chase, but it goes out of play. That will belong to Northwest. And Maris Quillen will handle the throw-in chores over there. April back to Vestring. Now Vestring trying to get it to Jensen. The two number 12s are fighting hard. Avalar sends one deep. That was intended for Harkins. And back out to center it comes. This one's going to go all the way out of play. It belonged to Northwest. Derby getting ready to make a line change over there. Britt throws it in over the head of Jensen. Reese gets a chest on it. Can't control it. Here comes Derby back with it. Gutierrez with it. Fought hard for it by Reese Visker. And that was a chance for Elena Avalar, but a good defensive play by Derby to snuff that threat. They're trying to get Moore on a fast break. And Moore's going to get a shot and a score. They tried to get Moore on the fast break, and they were successful, and Moore gets goal number 12 on the season. And it's 1-0 Panthers. Grizzlies will get set to kick off here.
Derby first goal scored by number 23, Brianna Moore.
They're waiting on a sub or something here. Yes, they are. Baumbush is going to come out, and Irene De La Rosa is going to come in and play midfield. $14:23 remaining, 1-0 Panthers. Emily Jensen deep. She's got double teamed on her. Gets it centered to April. A shot. Score! Just like that, it's tied, folks. 1-1. April Lucio scores off a feed from Emily Jensen, and the Jensen-Lucio connection continues. And it's 1-1.
Northwest goal scored by number 8, April Lucio.
So we'll do it again here with another kickoff. This time Derby will kick it off. So that deficit sure didn't last very long. It lasted all of 21 seconds. Goes out of play, and it will belong to the Derby Panthers.
For Northwest, number 7, Irene De La Rosa. On the pitch for the Lady Panthers, number 7, Marissa Gutierrez. Number 18, Giselle Vielmas. And number 22, Haley Vinrose.
Hope you were able to hear the PA announcer because I couldn't keep track of all the subs. This one goes back to Lexi Winkle. She sends it out. And on the far side of the field come the Derby Panthers. Crawford sends one deep. Well, how often does that happen? Here's another chance for the Grizzlies, but it goes over the top of the goal for a goal kick. This portion of the one moment here while I converse.
You want those 3 subs for Derby?
No, that's okay. Thank you, though. Goal kick is taken. Back out to center comes Derby. And here's another long one for Moore. But it's too long, and Nia Baker is there. Reese Fisker. Back to Britt. Murray has a player to beat, gets around her. Now she's held up. They didn't call anything. They could have called obstruction on that real easy because the ball went out of play. Play continues. And here come the Panthers again. Olivia Crawford made a nice tackle on the ball there. Here's Jensen with it at center. Avalar streaking for it. Can she get there? She goes down hard. Ball goes out of play. It will belong to the Grizzlies on the throw-in. Elena looking for a foul. Didn't get it. Visker back to Elena, and they called a bad throw-in on Visker. So the ball will turn over. 11:20 remaining here in the first half. Tied at 1. It's a non-league contest for both teams, obviously. Nice play by Britt there to get it to Reese Fisker. Fisker to Lucio. Lucio up to Jensen. Here comes Lucio around the corner. There's a shot and a save by Winkle on the shot by April Lucio. Back out to center it comes. April to Britt. Britt's got it again. Actually, that was Irene, I should say, not April. And there's a long one. That's going to go out of play. It does. It will belong to the Grizzlies. Britt Murray will have the honor. And it comes to Elena Avalar, who deflects it out of play, and it will belong to, this time to Derby, as they ruled it went off Elena. And Derby will substitute, count them, 5 players. Matt Van Broning is going to be hoarse by the time he's done announcing this one. Gutierrez is going to handle the throw-in, looks like. Two to watch are 23 and 26. They're a scoring machine. This one goes out of play. It will be a throw-in right below us for the Panthers. And Brianna Moore, for what it's worth, is only a freshman. And they called a handball on Britt Murray, and she said, I didn't mean to touch it. But it'll be a free direct kick from the 20 for the Panthers. Nothing but air between the kicker and Nia Baker. And that's exactly where it's going. And Adriana Moore tried to slip in and tap it home, and it was just offline. She got a foot on it, but couldn't do much. Here's Jensen with it now with a chance. She's streaking up the field. Sends it to Avalar. Avalar held up. Reese Fisker unable to advance the ball forward. It comes back out to center. Vestring blocks it and sends it right back into the offensive zone for the Grizzlies. And here's a chance for more. She's out there by herself, and Nia Baker clears it away, and she'll clear it out of bounds, but who cares? Nice play by the goalkeeper. And they've got to find a way to keep Moore in front of them. Visker. Now that ball went out of play. It will belong to the Grizzlies for a throw-in. Britt Murray will take it. Oh, I take that back. They called a foul. And I take the other one back. It's going to be Olivia Crawford now. Sending it up to Visker. Misker held up, and Derby gets it back. Out of play it goes. It will belong to the Panthers. 7 minutes to go. First half, we're tied at 1. Grizzlies are home tomorrow night. They will take on the Heights Falcons at Eric Profit, number 19, Memorial Soccer Complex. And then Thursday night, the second game of the 3-game homestand will feature the Crusaders of Cape and Mount Carmel, coming in for their only visit of the year. And then Monday night, they have a return engagement with the Mays Eagles, who beat them in their first contest. They'll be looking for some payback. Reese Fisker is going to come out on this substitution, and coming in to replace her is, I have no idea who that is. Turn around, please. Please turn around. Oh, is that Rachel Bazell? It is Rachel Bazell coming in. By George, I was able to see the number through the hair. And Rachel moving up, trying to work her way up for a goal-scoring opportunity, but Derby gets it back, sends it towards center. Irene De La Rosa fighting hard there for it. And Rachel gets it. She sends one across to Elena Avalar. Avalar tried to get it to Emily Jensen, who was streaking down the middle, but couldn't do so, and a foul called. It will be a free kick for the Grizzlies. April Lucio will take it. Most everybody's at the top of the penalty area. And April blasts one into the wall, comes right back to her, and she goes down hard and is fouled. And a free kick coming again for the Grizzlies, much to the chagrin of the partisan crowd. April Lucio lining up. Now she's going to wait a moment. Now she's ready. And she sends one through. A nice ball to Emily Jensen, but she couldn't turn around and get the shot off. Great pass, though. Here comes Derby back with it. Now the crowd wanting a foul because Moore went down. This one's going to go out of play and be a throw-in for Northwest. Britt Murray will take it at the 15. 4 to go, first half. Again, Russ Baldwin will be up here at halftime. We invite you to stay with us. Maddie Harkins is going out on a substitution here. That's the delay. And Darling Simon is coming back in for Northwest. So it's pretty much the starting lineup in there, with the exception of Rachel Bazell. Emily Jensen with it. Gutierrez takes it away from her. Here comes Derby now. Nice play by Irene to intercept that pass, and she sends it wide to Maris Quillen. Quillen to Darling Simon on the far side. And Darling tried to send it back to the middle, and it went instead to a white shirt. Here comes Derby back. Good play by Britt Murray to intercept that ball. Moore with it. Dishes it off. And there's a chip over for Moore. Moore gets behind Quillen. And the ball goes over the goal line. It will be a goal kick for Northwest. Grizzly Soccer on the Internet is being sponsored in part tonight by the Kansas Joint and Spine Specialists. For the best care in sports injuries, we invite you to visit Kansas Joint and Spine Specialist at 10,100 East Shannon Woods Circle, Suite 100. We thank them for their sponsorship of Grizzly Soccer on the World Wide Web. Ball out to center. Derby wins it. Goes on the far side. And out of play, it'll be a throw-in for the Panthers. I think I started to say and was interrupted, so I'll say it again. Athletic Director Russell Baldwin is our halftime guest tonight. As soon as he gets the referees scheduled, or settled rather, at halftime, he's going to work his way up here and have a little visit with us. And we'll look forward to seeing him. On the far side of the field, Lucio with it to Simon. Simon looking to cross it back to Lucio. She's got it. Needs a little bit of space, whirls around, sends one across to Emily Jensen. Can Jensen get a shot off? No. Back to Lucio. Everybody's double teamed now. Derby falls back on defense. Lucio in the direction of Emily. And Derby wins it and sends it out to center. Maris Quillen blocks one. It goes out of play. I think that's going to be ruled a Northwest ball. It is. 1 minute to go here in the first half. We're tied at 1. If you went to the concession stand during the 14th minute, you missed them both. 21 seconds apart were the two goals. Far side of the field. Emily with it. And back out here towards center. Derby looking for a fast break, and they may get one here on the near side. Ball goes out of play. That will belong to. And they're ruling that as a Derby ball. Throw in comes. Baumbush goes down hard. And what are they calling here? They both went down hard. Baumbush got right back up. But Gutierrez did not. And if it's a matter of bulk, Gutierrez is about 8 inches shorter than Baumbush. Clock stops with 3 whole seconds remaining. So when they restart this, we'll have a ceremonial free kick, and the first half will be history. Still waiting on it. And out it comes to center, and that'll do it. We're at halftime, folks. The score, 1-1. Derby and Northwest. Stay with us for our halftime extravaganza, including Athletic Director Russell Baldwin. This is Wichita Northwest Grizzlies Girls Soccer.
This portion of today's webcast is brought to you in part by Dugan and Garreau, attorneys at law, 940 North Tyler Road, Wichita. By Gecko Painting, Incorporated. Danny and Grizzly alum Stacy Higgins, now of Olathe, Kansas, are proud supporters of Grizzly Nation and webcasts on the Internet. And by Regional Contractors, 1313 North Webb Road. We thank all of our sponsors for their proud support of Grizzly Soccer.
Back at Derby High, Kevin Arkin with you, bringing you the sights and sounds of this one here live from Derby High on a very cool night. Temperature at game time was 54. And I'm going to check now and see if it's changed any. Well, it doesn't seem to have changed any. It still says it's 54. It seems colder up here, but we're in the shade now. And the shadows have completely crossed the field as well. Hope you're enjoying the game. 1-1. We expected a low-scoring game. Defensive struggle, despite the fact that there are some very solid offensive players on both teams. And that's obvious in the scoring tally as April Lucio has the Northwest goal. Pardon me, off an assist from Emily Jensen. What a surprise that is. And the goal scorer for Derby was freshman Brianna Moore, number 23, who is the leading scorer in the Ark Valley League. So, no surprises on either end as far as, where the goals were coming from. 1 goal each. It's been a good defensive game. Well played by both teams. Nia Baker's made a couple of really good saves here in the first half. And Coach Brybieska has elected not to sub too much here in the early going of this contest. He brought in Irene De La Rosa and Maddie Harkins about halfway through the period. And that's essentially been it. They came in and then they went back out again. Rachel Bazell also got some field time in the latter stages of the first half. Our upcoming schedule has us going to embarking on a 3-game homestand starting tomorrow night. The Grizzlies will entertain the Falcons of Heights High in a City League match, varsity match scheduled for 7. And then Thursday night, same song, different team. It's a City League match with the Cape and Mount Carmel Crusaders as we see them for the only time this season. I always look forward to seeing the Cape and crew when they come into Northwest. And then Monday night, Jay Holmes will bring his Mays Eagles into Eric Profit, number 19 Memorial Soccer Complex, for a non-league rematch of the season opener in the Titan Classic, which Mays won 4-1. Grizzlies on a 3-game winning streak, or 3-1 on the season, trying to continue it here on the road, trying to extend it on the road, I should say. And, on their way to doing so, if they can hang in there and get a good bounce once in a while, or once or twice, they can certainly pull this game out from the Derby Panthers, a very powerful offensive team indeed. In addition to our homestand, I'll just give you a little bit more. After our homestand, we have 4 in a row on the road. And we will be webcasting one of those 4. 3 of those 4 games are in places where we can't webcast, unfortunately. So, and they just happen to all come at the same time. So there's nothing we can do about that. After Mays on Monday, on Thursday, we traveled to East for a 4 o'clock game. They don't have lights over there. Friday the 20th, we're at Trinity, and we will webcast that game. And that is a 7 o'clock start. We will be on the air 6:45 for the Bobby Brybieska pregame show on April the 20th, which is our next webcast at Wichita Trinity. The 26th, they travel to, I did this wrong, the 24th, Tuesday the 24th, they travel to North, where there are no facilities at all, and that's a 4 o'clock start as well. And Thursday the 26th at 4 o'clock, they play at Wichita West. So they have 3 4 o'clock games after the 3-game homestand, and that's just the way it works. And then on Tuesday the 1st, at 6:15, an early start time for a home game, Manhattan will be here. The Manhattan Indians will come into Northwest for a 6 o'clock kickoff for the varsity. JV on that game was at 4:30, very early JV start. Then on the 3rd, 2 days later, we travel to Topeka Washburn Rural, and that is a doubleheader webcast day. We are going to bring you both games live from Topeka Washburn. The JV contest is a 4:30 start. We'll be on the air at 4:15 with a pregame interview with with head JV coach. One moment, please. Sorry about that. With assistant head coach Roger Powell is what I'm trying to say. And the game will start at 4:30, and then we'll stay on the air, have the pregame interview with Big Bob, and go directly to the varsity contest. So doubleheader on the 3rd of May, and all these games are podcast. And if you found this game, you have already found the new webcast home of Grizzlies soccer for this year. We built our own webpage and have all those games listed. We're sharing it with the basketball team. We did some webcasting for basketball this winter. Happy to do so, and we're sharing it with the basketball team and the soccer team are sharing the same site for their. All the podcasts will be mounted there. So now you have our webcast schedule, and you have pretty much the rest of the regular season. The only games left that I haven't mentioned: Bishop Carroll on the 8th at Northwest at 7 o'clock, and then they wrap up the regular season at Southeast at 4 o'clock. And that's another game that we cannot webcast because we can't even get a signal out of that school. We tried that in the winter with basketball folks, and we couldn't even get a phone to work. So we ended up recording it, and that game will not be webcast. We're going to pause here briefly for a word from a sponsor and from Keisha. And then we'll be back with the second half. Stay with us. Grizzlies and Derby tied at 1.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
Back at Derby High, Kevin Arkin with you. Grizzlies and Derby are tied at 1. And a very well-played first half, I might add. Grizzlies have yet to take the field. There's about 30 seconds on the halftime clock. Referees are now making their way to the field, so we'll be underway here in just a moment. And I think while we have the time, we're going to take another 30-second timeout to give our sponsors a chance to get their verbiage in. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Stay with us. This is Grizzlies Girls Soccer.
This portion of today's webcast is brought to you in part by Dugan and Garreau, attorneys at law, 940 North Tyler Road, Wichita. By Gecko Painting, Incorporated. Danny and Grizzly alum Stacy Higgins, now of Olathe, Kansas, are proud supporters of Grizzly Nation and webcasts on the Internet. And by Regional Contractors, 1313 North Webb Road. We thank all of our sponsors for their proud support of Grizzly Soccer.
We are back at Derby High, and we are just about set to go here for the second half of this contest. Grizzlies in their road blue uniforms with gold numbers and gold trim. They will be playing from left to right. They will have the wind at their back, and the wind has died down a lot. It's probably blowing about 10 to 15 miles an hour now. A lot less than it was in the first half. And we apologize that we were unable to, I'm a little disappointed we were able to get Russ Baldwin up here. He evidently got tied up and was unable to make it up here for halftime visit. He's always a great interview, and we'll catch him next time. And we do want to send our thanks to him. I was going to do it in person. We want to thank him for his hospitality in letting us get set up here in the press box tonight. We also want to thank PA announcer Matt Von Boning for his assistance tonight and for his hospitality as well. Grizzlies kick it off. Maris Quillen on the near side sends one up to Lucio. Lucio back to Jensen. Jensen to Darling Simon. Sending one into the center. Hopefully, nope, not going to happen. It's going to get cleared out there by Derby. Lights are on here at Panther Stadium. And they just haven't taken effect yet. That should be a corner. Nope, they're going to call it a goal kick. That shows you what I know. So Lexi Winkle will handle the goal kick herself, the goalkeeper for the Derby Panthers. She sends one out toward the center of the field, and Elena Avalar gets a noggin on it. Grizzlies take control, and that's what we want them to do here in this half, is take control of the game. I think Coach B probably told the girls at halftime that Derby had way too much control of the contest in the first half. Lucio with it. Sends it over on the far side. Up to Jensen. Jensen goes deep. Crosses one to Avalar. Couldn't get a foot on it to send it home. Darling Simon has it on the near side. Quillen sends it in. Gets it back in. Rejected twice by the defense, and finally Valmbush sends one over the top of the goal, and it will be a goal kick for the Derby Panthers. This portion of Soccer on the Internet being brought to you tonight by Cartridge Express at 7447 West 21st Street North. Bring in your used cartridges for trade-in and get an extra 10% off of our already low prices. Open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 1 on Saturday. Cartridge Express. Ball comes out of play. Maris Quillen will get the honor to throw it in here. Darling Simon looks like her likely target, and bingo, it is. A nice heel pass that time by Simon. That's something they obviously worked on in practice. Derby gets it back. Adriana Moore, number 23, the dangerous one, now on our side of the field, where we can keep an eye on her. Valmbush sends it wide. Britt Murray couldn't get to it. Crawford couldn't either, but Vestring sends it out to center. And here come the Grizzlies with it. Avalar. Can she get around the defender? Tried to send one to a streaking Reese Fisker on the far side. The ball was intercepted. That was a nice defensive play. Also a nice offensive play by Elena Avalar. Derby with it, sending it forward. And there's a long one, and there's Moore. Who's going to get it? Moore's going to tap it in. And bingo, it's 2-1. Nia Baker couldn't get to it. 3.5 minutes in. It's a 2-1 contest. And once again, the Grizzlies will be playing from behind. Moore has both goals for Derby. They're going to love her for the next 4 years, trust me. And we have a Air Force tanker flying over the stadium, giving us our flyover for the night. Darling Simon with it. No need to panic. We got a lot of time left and a lot of soccer to play. Simon watches one go out of bounds, and it will belong to the Grizzlies. That one went out off of Kendall Meyer. Ooh. Emily Jensen got hammered. She's okay. It's going to be a free kick for the Grizzlies from the 15 on the football field, about 7 yards, but be about 25 yards from pay dirt. And if those girls are 10 yards back, I'll eat my hat. And a nice job by Lucio to ask for the 10 yards. April's going to take this one. Everybody scatters. There it goes. It goes off the wall. And it's going to be kicked out of play. It'll be a throw-in this time for the Grizzlies. I think they would have wanted something a little more that time, but they take what they can get. Lucio throws it in to Quillen. Maris trying to keep possession of the ball, and Derby gets it back. And here come the Panthers again. They've scored twice on counterattacks in this game. Now they have another one going. There's another long one. That one's going to go right to Baker, though, and she'll have an easy save. And a goalkeeper distribution here. On the near side, Darling Simon has it. And she sends it back to Crawford, to Jensen, to Simon. Here comes Leapst. Lauren Vestring sends it back out to center. That one's going to go out of play. It will be a throw in right below us here. And it looks like Meyer's going to handle it. She does. Emily Jensen gets it back. Chance for the Grizzlies. So she sent a long one, but Elena Avalar had stopped. So it goes all the way back to Winkle. Lexi Winkle sends it off to the far side. Gutierrez sends it forward. And there's a long one giving chases Crawford. And Olivia, oh my gosh, they got another one. This time it's Leapst. And it's 3-1. 33.5 remaining here in the second half. The Grizzlies find themselves down by a pair. They have not been able to defend those two girls in the back, Leapst and Moore. They've both been deadly. Here in the early going of the second half. That one goes out of play. It'll belong to Northwest. Maris will take it at about the 35. And it comes to Olivia Crawford. Now what are they doing? Oh, they're giving it to Derby instead. Oh, the clock had not started. That was a clock issue. So my clock is about 20, we're about 20 seconds ahead of the game clock. We'll fix that when we get a chance. That's some stoppage in play like the next Northwest Grizzly goal. Nice win back that time by Reese. Out it comes here. Oh, nice save that time by the Panthers. I was sure that was going out. I was going to say we were going to have a nice, easy throw in, but no. Panthers maintain the ball and maintain control. Baumbush got it back for the Grizzlies, but it's going to be kicked out of play, and that's going to belong to Derby. Panthers 3, Grizzlies 1. 2 goals in a short span here in the second half on counterattacks have put the Grizzlies in a hole. Now we have a corner kick coming for the Panthers. This will be into the wind. The wind is actually coming out of the northeast. It's coming from the far corner of the field toward us because it's blowing into our window here. And up it goes into the air, and a header and a shot and a score. Wow. Off the set piece, another goal. We'll wait for Matt to tell us who scored it because I sure didn't see it. Adriana Moore gets the goal.
Derby's fourth goal coming in the 39th minute from number 23, Brianna Moore, through the assist of number 17, Mara Frankie.
Frankie gets the assist on the goal. 4-1. Grizzlies are now in trouble. Well, they need to get them back one at a time. Grizzlies have never led. They trailed in the first half for only 20 seconds. As they answered right away, but they're going to have to do some answering now. And they have the wind at their back, so that'll help them. That one goes out of play. It belongs to Northwest. Reese throws it in. Emily over there. Marked heavily, trying to get around two people. And can't hang on to the ball. Britt Murray over there to help out. Throw in comes in from Derby. Intercepted there by the Panthers. Who's going to get that one? Derby gets it, promptly taps it out of play. Mork unable to. As I figured, just got a note passed to me that Athletic Director Baldwin got tied up downstairs and wasn't able to get up here at halftime, and that's fine. We understand 100%. Just like I said, I appreciate his hospitality. I just would like to have been able to extend that thanks personally. He'll get a nice note from me in the morning. April with the ball. Let's go. 20. Here comes Elena. Elena's overdue. There's a shot by Elena. Goes wide of the goal, and it will be a goal kick for the Panthers. This portion of Soccer on the Internet being brought to you in part by Johnson General Stores of Wichita. Westside locations include 5400 North Meridian or 1009 South Seneca. They're your choice for quality fuels for your car and for you as well. All at low prices and where smiles are free, Johnson General Stores are a proud supporter of Grizzly Soccer. And I want to send a special shout out tonight to Dick and Jane Elliott watching their first Grizzly webcast tonight. Usually do that in the first half when I know about it, and I've been so busy I'm unable to do so. And there's one going right to Nia Baker, no problem. So anyway, Dick and Jane, welcome aboard. Glad to have you tonight. There's Emily with it now. And up to April. Come on, April, let's get something going here. April centering one. Has two people to beat. She needs to find somebody open. And she does. Darling Simon, who sends a cross, but there's nobody there. Bestring fighting for it and wins it. Good job, Lauren. Over on the far side, Reese Visker sends one up and out. And it will belong to the Panthers. Here's one going back. Crawford back there to take charge, and this one's going to go out of play and be a throw-in for Derby. And we'll just do the same thing about 10 yards closer now. 27 left in the contest. Grizzlies down by 3. Came in 3-1. Derby came in 2-2. And the Grizzlies, whatever they do tonight, are going to have to get right back at it tomorrow night. They've got a tough Heights Falcons team coming in to Northwest tomorrow night in an important City League match. Grizzlies 1-0 in City League play so far in the young season. Jensen fires one wide right, and it will be a goal kick for Derby. This portion of Soccer on the Internet brought to you by Lee's Roofing at 611 North Emporia, where their motto is experience counts. When you choose Lee's Roofing, you get roofing repairs and installations performed by roofing professionals with 5 decades of experience and with a 5-year warranty. Call Lee's Roofing today at 316-942-6000. Lee's Roofing, a proud supporter of Grizzly Soccer on the World Wide Web. And I would have enjoyed nothing more than to have to complain because they scored a goal while I was doing a commercial. As it is, it's going to be a corner kick from this near corner here. In it comes. Loose in front and in. I don't know who put it in, but it's a goal for Northwest. And it's 4-2. We'll get it from the, we'll wait for the official stats to come out here. I know the assist will go to Reese. Darling Simon gets her first goal of the season. Reese Fisker gets the assist from the corner kick on the set piece. So they have traded set piece plays. And we're waiting on a substitution. Elena Avalar is going to go out. And I have no idea who. Oh, Parker Hoops just came in.
Now entering the pitch for Northwest, number 10, Parker Hoops.
Parker takes Elena's place. We're back underway here. Adriana Moore with the ball, and then she has it poked away from her. Derby maintains control, however. Grizzlies need to get it back here. Moore with it in the corner. And tapped out of play by Vestring. It'll be a throw-in for the Panthers. 25 to go. Second half. Grizzlies trail 4-2. Out to center it comes. Here's a chance for the Grizzlies. It's 1-on-3. A long blast is going to go. It would have been wide anyway, but it was stopped by Winkle. And Lexi Winkle will have that goalkeeper distribution. She sends it out to the 40. On the near side, Derby has it. Sending one forward. Trying to get it to Moore. Moore is evidently Miss All World, and it sure seems that way, the way she's poking them in. She's got 2 tonight, 13 on the year. This is only their 5th game. Maris Quillen, gets overrun by that one. Moore gets a centering pass off, and a header try misses. Ball was too high. It's going to go out of play. It'll belong to Northwest. Britt Murray's going to throw it in over there and looking for some help. That's Emily with it over there. And Britt slides by her to be the recipient of a pass, but couldn't get it off to her. Parker with it now. And here come the Grizzlies back. This one goes all the way back to Nia Baker. She'll launch it back out. And a nice play. She gets it all the way out to the 40. Where Emily Jensen's waiting for it. She's going to take a long blast. Goes right to Winkle, who makes an easy save. And we'll have a goalkeeper distribution. I don't think we're going to beat this goalkeeper long distance, but that's my own personal feeling on it. Pardon me. Darling Simon throws it into Lucio. Back to Simon. Now it goes in deep toward Jensen. Here's Parker Hoops with it. Parker to Lucio. And Lucio to Jensen. Jensen, can you spin around? She does. Gets a shot off. It's blocked by the defense. Right-footed. Blocked by the defense. Nice tackle that time by the defenders. For Derby. Good offensive thrust by the Grizzlies. This one goes out of play. It'll belong to Derby. And Derby's going to sub in a player. Matt's over there. He's got his binoculars. He's no dummy. I can't tell you who it is. Britt loses it. Goes back to the defensive line. Vestring sends one forward. That's intercepted. Now Emily has it. She sends one to April. On the far side is Reese Visker. Reese will center one. Nope, blocked by the defender. And it comes all the way up. Britt Murray wins it. She sends it forward to Reese. And now a centering pass intended for Darling Simon, but it's intercepted by the defense. April Lucio with it. And there's a long one. Crawford will send it all the way back to Nia Baker. Yes, she does. Baker pops one up short. Maris Quillen can't handle the parking lot bounce. Leaps can't control it. And there's a long one by Leaps again that Nia Baker corrals with no trouble at all. And she'll have a goalkeeper distribution. Out it comes towards center. Darling Simon with it at the 20, and she can't control it. Here comes Derby back. Panthers are relentless. You got to keep after them. Leaps with it. Sends it back. Now Emily Jensen wins it. She needs some help. She sends one all the way across and too far. That was intended for April Lucio. Too far. We're inside 20 minutes to go now. Grizzlies still down by a pair. And what do we have here? An offside? No, what do we have? They're calling something. I guess they're saying it went out of bounds. Lucio forward. Derby wins it. Maris Quillen wins it. Darling Simon loses it. And coming up the sideline, who's going to get there first? It's going to be Olivia Crawford, but it goes out of play. Maris Quillen now will center one to Baumbush. And that was intended for Maris Quillen, but she had stopped. A little miscommunication there. Ooh. Even the crowd oohed on that one. Oh, there's another hard hit as Vestring goes down hard. The two freshmen battling it out. And they're calling for the throw-in. No fouls called. 18:25 remaining. Second half. Grizzlies trail 4-2. And they did call a foul after all, so excuse me for my error. As well they should have. Britt Murray looking to control it. Vestring chasing it over there on the far side. And finally, she just lets it go out of play. Oh, it went off the defender, so it will be a throw in for the Grizzlies after this substitution. Looks like Darling Simon is going to go out, and I'll bet you dollars to dimes that that's Rachel Bazell coming in. Number 6. It is. And the throw in comes in. Out to center, a long lead pass over there. Can we make something happen here? Emily sends it in, and it's deflected out. That'll be a throw in for the Grizzlies from the near side. Good defensive play by the Panthers that time. In it comes. Quillen comes up from her defensive spot to help out. Britt Murray at the 40. Sends one forward. Here's a chance for Emily. There's a shot. And off the post and a score. Emily Jensen gets the score. It's 4-3. Wowzers. This is a barn burner. 16:40 to go in the second. Grizzlies are down only by 1.
Northwest third goal comes at the 65th minute from number 12, Emily Jensen.
Emily Jensen gets the goal. We need one more. Derby kicks off. Uh-oh, trouble already here. And Festering does the right thing. She kicks it out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Derby, but that had disaster written all over it, folks. Long one, nobody there but white shirts, so that's going to go right to Derby. They'll send it up on the far side. It goes out of play. Emily Jensen over there now will throw it in, I believe. And it comes forward to April. April looking for some help. Gets it from Britt Murray. Nice job, Britt. Here she comes. Sends one wide. Emily Jensen over there. Back to April. Parker now. That one went down, went out of bounds. I don't know that's going to belong to whom. They're calling a foul on that one, which is probably the right thing to do. So it'll be a free kick for Derby. Into the circle it goes. And this one goes deep. Festering back there to assist. No assist needed, says Nia Baker. And she launches one back out toward to center. Emily Jensen had it trapped for the moment, then lost it. Leapst with it over on the near side. Give and go back to Leapst. Oh, Adriana Moore all alone. Five to 3. I'm a long way away, but I certainly thought I saw an offside there, but no flag went up.
Derby's fifth goal from number 23, Brianna Moore.
Brianna Moore has a hat trick.
Number 17, Bara Frankie.
14-10 remaining here in the second half. The Grizzlies down by a pair again. We didn't want to get into a goal-scoring war, and that's exactly what this is becoming. 1-1 at halftime. 6 goals since. Maris Quillen loses it to Moore, and it Goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Grizzlies. Maris will throw it in. And does so. Parker hoops, puts one in the air. April, unable to control it. Britt comes up. I'm going to correct my previous statement. I told you that Moore had a hat trick. She actually has 4 of the 5 goals. Matt Van Boning, nice enough to feed that information along. Parker hoops with it. She's going to send it over here on the near side. Bazell can't find a home for it. Ends up going out of play. It'll belong to Northwest. Maris Quillen will throw it in. Looking for a target, and she sends it into Rachel. Back to Maris. Crawford sends a long one in. Nice ball by Olivia. April, back to Maris. Forward to Hoops. Some nice passing this time. Oh, and that one overled Rachel Bazell. She didn't have much of a chance to get to it. It will be a goal kick for Derby. This portion of Soccer on the Internet being brought to you in part tonight by Legacy Bank, providing quality banking services to South Central Kansas since 1885. Open your account today by stopping in at any Legacy Bank or by calling 260-3711. Or for more information, check out Legacy Bank's website at www.legacy-bank.com. This one goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in for the Grizzlies, and Elena Avalar will handle the chore. Into Emily. Couldn't control it. Goes back in deep. Now loose back there, and they're going to call a foul on Emily. And it will be a free kick for the Panthers. Getting a little bit cooler as the sun has gone down. The lights have taken full effect. Temperature now 51 degrees, which in February would be a warm day, but quite frankly, folks, it's cool out here. And we're shooting out an open window, so it's plenty cool in here as well. 11 minutes to go. Grizzlies down by a pair. They need to get a goal. Avalar will send it up to April. Back to Avalar. Send it forward. Nobody there. Hoops giving chase now. She's not going to catch up with it. Gutierrez will send it up instead for Derby. A little give and go, and here comes a ball that's intercepted. That was intended for Brianna Moore. And Crawford did a nice job of intercepting that one. Parker with it. Sending it wide. Now coming in. That's Bazell over there on the far side. She switched places when Elena came in. And they're calling a foul on Northwest. So it'll be a free kick for Lexi Winkle with 9.5 remaining. Out to center it goes. Britt's got it. Got a foot on it anyway. And back to the center it goes. Parker with it. Has a player all over her. Gives it to Baumbush. Back to Parker Hoops. Brianna Moore sends a long one in deep. Vestring will chase it. No problem getting to that one, and she sends it wide to Britt Moore, who fanned on it, and it will belong to Derby. Out it goes. We'll do it again. Grizzlies getting ready to sub in a player, but I don't know who that is. But they've been making a goalkeeper change here, and they are. So that'll be Mallory Lund coming in to play goal for the Grizzlies. Nia Baker will go out.
Now in at goalkeeper for Northwest, number 2, Mallory Lund.
Mallory Lund in at goal. Give Nia Baker a breather, because she is the likely starter tomorrow night at home against Heights. And it is supposed to be warmer tomorrow than it is today. It's supposed to get warmer during the week. In fact, it's supposed to be 80 on Wednesday. 80 will feel pretty good. It's brisk tonight. Everybody out here in coats and blankets. And we have a stoppage of play with 7 minutes to go and change. And a yellow card has been issued. I don't know who the yellow card has been issued against, but it looks like it's Leapst. And that has to be for some, delay of game yellow card. I didn't see that. Okay. Guilty of a delay of game infraction, and she gets a yellow card for it. Referee's over there explaining to both coaches what's going on. Grizzlies will get a free kick from the 31 on the football field, 41 from Pater. Grizzlies down 5-3. And we're back underway. There's a long one right to Winkle. No problem making that save. And she sends it back out to center. Britt Murray all over her opponent. Derby maintains control. Vollenbush blocks it nicely. On the near side, here come the Panthers. Moore looking to center one, has a partially blocked Vestring. It's going to send that one that goes out of play off the foot of Avalar. It was going to go out anyway. And it'll be a throw in for Derby. They're going to sub a player first. 6:30 to go in the second half. Grizzlies down by a pair. They need 2 to force overtime. And back underway. Britt Murray gets one up in the air. And Leapst, who went out on the yellow card, is back on the floor again. Again, if you're a player who is issued a yellow card, must leave the game until there's another guaranteed substitution. So she was out for one sub and came right back in. Oh, there's one deflected out of play, and we kind of got a break that time. That went off the... And they're calling that what are they calling that here? They're going to call that a goal kick for the Grizzlies. Fans don't like it. They thought it should have been a corner. They thought Lund knocked it out. Out it comes to center. One there by Derby. Parker gets it back, trying to get that to Avalar. She gets a head on it. Vollenbush Sends one wide. That's going to go out of play. Excuse me for bumping. That's going to go out of play and be a throw-in for Derby. They don't waste any time throwing it in. Less than 5 minutes to go now. Grizzlies need to get a goal. They need two. They need to get one quickly. April sends one up to Parker on the far side to Reese Fisker. That's going to go over the goal line for a, what is it? The goal kick. This portion of Soccer on the Internet is being brought to you by McCurdy Auction LLC, 12041 East 13th Street North at K96 Highway, where it's as good as sold. Give them a call, 316-683-0612. Check out McCurdy Auction's website for upcoming real estate and personal property auctions at McCurdyAuction.com. We thank McCurdy Auction for their sponsorship of the Grizzlies on the World Wide Web. April sends one wide now to Elena. Avalar with it. Back to April. Give and go to Avalar. Deep into the corner. Crossing one, it goes out of play off the defender. It will be a corner kick for the Grizzlies, and here's an opportunity for another set piece. Grizzlies are going to sub in two players here. And I can't tell you who's going out or who's coming in. The light is not very good. We're going to let Matt tell us. Maddie Harkins is back in, along with Reese Fisker. Ball in the corner is going to go out of play. It'll be another corner kick for the Grizzlies. This time it'll be at the far corner. Beg your pardon. And it comes with 2:30 to go. Here we go. In the air it is. Loose in front. A chance. And that one's going to go all the way across. Reese sends one in. It gets tipped over the top of the goal, I believe, by Maddie Harkins. And it will be a goal kick for the Panthers. A very, very tough play to lose the ball on this late in the contest. Grizzlies really needed to get something going here. Out it comes to center. Grizzlies with it again. Bringing it up. Nice give and go. They tried it way too many times, Avalar and Jensen. This one goes out of play. That should belong to us. It does. In it comes very quickly, as time is critical. Nice play by Avalar. Here she comes. Gets around one. Sends one forward. Intercepted. Sent back out here to center. Chipping it right back. Vestring. Nice job of trapping that one. Sending it forward. There's a long one. In the direction of Jensen. Jensen. Centering it for Lucio, shot and a save by Lexi Winkle, and that's probably the biggest play of the night for her, making the save, and with less than a minute to go, that may just have written our epitaph for tonight. Leaps has it, sends it over on the far side. Here's another chance for Lucio, a shot, and another save by Winkle. She's come up big twice in the last minute. And the fans here, the partisan fans, really appreciate what she's done, and deservedly so. She's made two really good saves off of two hard shots, one by Jensen and one by Lucio. 3 to go now, and that'll do it. And we are final, ladies and gentlemen. Grizzlies fall to the Panthers 5-3 tonight. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout or a 1-minute timeout here, and then we'll be back to wrap this one up, so stay with us. This is Wichita Northwest Grizzlies Girls Soccer.
This may sound like a typical high school basketball game being played on a Friday night in Kansas. In fact, it's a crash course in cooperation and teamwork. It's a test of dedication, determination, and drive. It's character development in action. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think about this. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students who participate in school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. At the same time, playing sports helps teach lessons not covered in the classroom. Lessons like tolerance, respect for the rules, and the importance of supporting your community. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Well, thanks. And welcome back to Derby Panther High School, Derby Panther Stadium, where the Grizzlies tonight fall to the Panthers by a score of 5-3. And there's no question tonight. It was all Brianna Moore tonight. 4 goals and an assist tonight. She had a hand in everything tonight, and she was just way too much for the Grizzlies to handle. So the Grizzly defense, which had played so well in the last 2 games, didn't play badly tonight, but they just couldn't keep her from the counterattack goals that she was getting over and over again. And as a result, it's just too much, and our 3 goals just weren't going to be enough. We have to turn right around tomorrow night. The Grizzlies will be at home against the Heights High Falcons. Varsity contest begins at 7, JV at 5:15. If you're in Wichita watching, please come out and support your Grizzlies tomorrow night. Dress warm. It'll be cool. It'll be brisk, but it's not a bad night tonight. It's just kind of cool. The temperature's gone down to 49, but it's okay for soccer. It's great soccer weather. And tomorrow night's going to be warmer than it is tonight. So please come out and support your Grizzlies tomorrow night. They start a 3-game homestand tomorrow night against Heights. They play Capon on Thursday at home, and then next Monday night, the rematch against the Mays High Eagles. Our next webcast will be April the 20th. They will be the Grizzlies will be traveling to Wichita Trinity High. The game is scheduled for 7 o'clock. We'll be on the air at 6:45. I believe that's a Friday night. Where's my schedule go? This is what happens when you're doing this by yourself, folks. Bear with me. The Trinity game is on a Friday night. April 20th is a Friday. So sit down, grab a pizza, and watch us on Friday night as the Grizzlies take on the Wichita Trinity team. We're going to wrap it up from here. Again, we thank you. We want to thank all of our sponsors who have supported us, who continue to support us. We appreciate it. Appreciate your patience tonight with me having to do the whole thing by myself, which, I knew the job was tough and I took it, but I would have much rather have had some help, and I understand why. Caleb was unable to join us tonight, and hopefully we'll have him back on the 20th when we're at Trinity. So until tomorrow night, we hope we see you at Northwest. Until then, well, thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Once again, the final score, 5-3. The Grizzlies fall to the Panthers. Until tomorrow night, we'll wish you a pleasant evening and just simply say good night from Derby High.